Hey everybody, Jeremy from Follow Me Leadership. Want to talk to you today about what I believe are the three fundamental concepts of leadership that I think every great leader needs to have. These are things that are necessary to achieving victory in your mission. And when I talk about achieving victory in missions and leadership, I'm not talking just stuff for the military. Obviously, that's where I got my foundation roots in leadership, but I think these are things that apply to any industry, whether you're at a big corporation or a small sole proprietorship. These are the necessary things that I believe everybody's going to have to be a decent leader. First and foremost, you got to develop the instincts needed to be a good leader. You also have to develop your skill sets in order to perform in your workplace environment to the best of your abilities. And lastly, you have to have the right mindset. Those are the three things that are most important for every great leader. So let's talk about instincts. I think instinct is all about anticipating the needs of your chain of command, knowing what your manager, your boss want to do in their world or what they're going to be judged on, and formulating the execution of your plan to help meet their needs. You need to plan for the unexpected, plan for the unknown. We used to say in the military that Murphy is always on the range, Murphy's Law. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But you need to plan for things that the unforeseeable issues that come up and get in our way, obstacles that come up that we didn't think about. Start planning for those or thinking about them at least. Never be surprised by anything. Second thing is you need to sense the changes in battle tempo before they happen. This is something we learned in the military that you can kind of see as things progress during a battle, whether you're winning or losing. And it's the same thing in the corporate world or a small business environment. You need to look at the market that you're in and see what they're doing and start making changes based on what you foresee the market is starting to do. The other thing is you got to know your people and how best to use them. Understand the strengths and weaknesses of your people, so that way as things come up, in your day-to-day operations, as the market starts to change, on who's on your team and who you can best employ their skill sets and to help overcome or at least address these changes in the market that are coming at you. Lastly, know thy enemy. Get to know the forces that you're against. In the military, it was easy. We studied the adversaries that we were fighting on the battlefield. We learned their capabilities, their strengths, their weaknesses. It's the same thing in the corporate world, same thing in the small business world. Know what you're up against. Know what your competition is, whether it's another company that does the same thing as you or whether it's just other indirect competition that could potentially thwart what you're doing. You need to understand those things and how to adjust to them as they occur. So let's talk about skill set now. Skill set, the second fundamental concept that I think every great leader needs to master. You need to become very proficient in everything that's inherent in your job. If whatever the tasks are, whatever the functions are of your workplace environment, you need to master all of those. And then you need to go down and all of the jobs and functions that you expect your subordinates to perform in, you need to work on those as well and be proficient in everything. You don't have to be the master at everything that your subordinates do, but you need to be proficient. You can't expect your people to perform a task or do a function if you yourself can't do it. And when I say that, I need you to think about it in terms of, as a leader, you need to be prepared at any moment to get up and do the job of your subordinates. And this could be for any number of reasons. They didn't show up for work, they aren't performing well and you have to fire them, or let's just say they're just not doing a job and it's a critical function that needs to happen immediately. You might have to jump in and just take over that task and get it done. So skill set, yeah, you need to learn these things, learn the skills, develop them over time. The other thing you should do is find those high-performing personnel below you that are very proficient in mastering different functions in the workplace and have them teach you their skills. I say this because I think it does several things. First and foremost, it's going to really prop that person up. It's going to build courage in them because, hey, the boss or the management, they're coming down and they're asking me to teach them what I do. They obviously find value in what I do. They see what I do. They acknowledge my contribution to the business, to the company, to the unit. It really makes people feel good. The other thing is, it's always good to learn a skill through the mind or through the eyes of someone else. You think about a basic function in the workplace. You might do it one way, you might have a vision of how it's supposed to be done, but the people below you might have found an easier way to get things done. I always found in the military that the privates in my unit, they would find the easiest way to get something done. And, sometimes it was a bad thing, but mostly it was a good thing. And so I could go to them and say, hey, I know how to do this, but I'm sure you've got a better way to do it, a faster way to do it. Can you show me how? Trust me, people below you will love to teach you something because it makes them feel better and it makes them feel that they have value in the company. So lastly, let's talk about mindset. Mindset to me is the most important foundational concept of any great leader. And it starts with confidence in your decision making. Confidence is contagious. It builds trust and support amongst your subordinates. Don't ever hesitate when making a decision. Don't be indecisive. Indecisiveness kills morale. And if you're wrong, try again. If you're wrong, try again. If you're wrong again, try again. Go with your gut. And if you train your gut through your instincts and your skill set, you're going to start making a lot of good, solid decisions. They may not always be perfect. They may not always be 100% right, but you're going to make some good decisions that are going to work out. Having the confidence in those decisions will get people to follow you and think highly of you. There's a great saying I remember that we always had in the military. We would tell our subordinate leaders, when in charge, be in charge. So if there's a decision to be made and it's up to you as a leader to make that decision, then make that decision. Your leadership is never a committee. If you have a decision to make, don't go to all your subordinates and start throwing things at them saying, hey, I was thinking of doing this, I was thinking of doing that. What do you guys think? What do you want to do? I know a lot of people fall into that trap all the time. They believe that they're building the team by giving them input. There's a time for getting input from your subordinates, and then there's a time to make a decision. When it comes time to making that decision, make the decision and move out. So that's it. Hopefully you appreciate what I believe are the three foundational concepts of any great leader: having the right instincts, developing your skill set, and building the right mindset to win. I think if you can do all three of those things, you'll be a great leader in any industry and any job that you're in. Thanks, everybody.